what I want to talk about is if media can take it too far with taking things personally, we kind of saw that play out with Stephen A. and Bronny, where LeBron is saying, "Hey, critique him as a basketball player, don't critique me as a father." And I saw it immediately, and I was like, "Hey, that's crossing the line." I think that people have muddied the water in so many situations that now people want to live in a gray area. So even if you have a sports debate, so if you were debating between, who the Browns should take at number two, should it be Abdul Carter? Should it be Travis Hunter? Should it be Shador? Should they trade back? What people will do is instead of just putting out there who they think the Browns should take and stating their case for why, they muddy the waters and talk about, oh, the Browns haven't put good, and they take it all the way completely off subject of what was the purpose of what you were talking about. And I believe that's muddying the water. Kind of similar to not kangaroo. I got to think of the animal. There's an animal that kind of always wants to fight you by the water, and they drag you into the water so they can kind of take you out into the water so you don't have a good shot at defending yourself. I got to think of the animal that it is. I don't think it's a kangaroo. I think it might be a kangaroo. Kangaroo with their claws. That's what it might be. But so I'm saying all that to say, I believe that we need to go more back to things being black and white, where, this is inbounds, this is out of bounds. Because when you start to muddy the water, you have these situations come up between media and athletes. So if you look at, like I gave you the example of Skip Bayless, Skip Bayless, he always talked about, he called Russell Westbrook. So he made a nickname. I believe he used to call Chris Bosh Spice. So there were times where we're just calling people out of their name, and the media hides behind the fact that I'm doing my job. But your job is to critique me in a sport that I play. Your job is not to, call me names and all these things, because I believe personally that's where it automatically crosses the lines. So if you notice, I try my best not to call people names when I'm speaking on, media, when I'm speaking on players. I just try to, call people by their name, because I'm always going to say this, you open the door for disrespect when you disrespect someone, and you can't determine how they respond. So I try not to disrespect people, but I think the media is in a place where they've kind of hid behind that. And I'm saying all that to say that I believe Bull went too far, and let's see what he did. So we're going to start off with Deshaun Watson putting up kind of like a hype video. So let's go here. This video, it does have some music in it. He put out a workout video. It has some music in it. So when we get to, if I make this a clip for the YouTube, on YouTube, I will have to cut this portion out because it'll give me a media strike. But we're going to play it here because we're live. Video, that's him working out. He seems to be in all Cleveland Browns gear. And it looks like, he's just ramping up from his injury. And the way I see that is, I see that as him trying to, just give something to the people that still root for him, that he's still going, that he's still pushing through, that he's still out here trying, and he is still, trying to be the best he can be. And I mean, I know that like things haven't gone the way that people have expected them to go with him, and since he's been in Cleveland, but a lot of people just wanted to kind of throw him out to the wolves. I mean, he got injured on the field. He re-injured himself off the field, but he originally got injured on the field. And, I think it would be wrong for a team to watch a player get injured on the field, still have that player under contract, especially like somebody like Deshaun, whose contract is guaranteed, and then not give him the ability to at least rehab himself. I'm fine with if Deshaun never takes a snap with the Browns again. I'm fine if the Browns say, hey, we'll give you a chance as a third stringer, see if you can work your way up or put you in some type of quarterback competition. I'm fine either way. But I don't take that as an opportunity to say because it didn't work out how I expected for it to work out on the field that, he shouldn't get the opportunity to rehab and, also live his life. So what we have on the screen now, this is Deshaun Watson and his fiance, Jilly. He proposed to her and she posted this to her Instagram, which I don't see an issue with that. how many posts do we see where someone is getting engaged and they share that? So I don't see any issue with this. You know, I think this is perfectly fine. This is perfectly normal. They're living their life. So I don't even have anything to say about it. But this is where I say media can muddy the waters and go past that line. That's why I think there should be certain things critiquing a player and their play should be inbounds, and then their personal life, I believe that should be out of bounds. So let's get this thing set up so we can get to Bull responding to this. I am going to have to adjust the clip here, or let's see, let me get this adjusted. All right, so we're going to do it live. We're going to get this thing adjusted so we can keep this show moving forward. All right, so just a little bit more. All right, there we go. Okay, so that was the situation. Deshaun put out the hype video, and then he also, I don't know which one came first, but his fiance also posted that, you know, they're engaged and posted their excitement. So that's the lead up until this rant by Bull right here.
I said to my wife, look at what Anthony did in this rundown. Putting Deshaun, making me talk about Deshaun. And then I was like, okay, this will be good because I can crap on Deshaun Watson. So I changed my mind. First of all,
right, so like I always say, people always tell you what their intentions are. You just got to listen to them. So just from the beginning, he's saying, hey, he's happy because he gets to crap on Deshaun Watson. So that tell you his intentions from the beginning.
why, if you're Deshaun Watson, are you putting out pictures of you getting engaged?
What do you mean?
So I think Tyvis is right there. He said, what do you mean? So who has the right to put out pictures of them getting engaged and who doesn't have the right? Because this is where I think that people in the media, they open themselves up for criticism. They open themselves up for personal attacks when they go down this rabbit hole the Bull is about to go down. And that's just a start. It's a good thing that, you know, a former NFL athlete is here with them while he's doing this. So Tyvis is going to laugh, but Tyvis, he laughs all the time, but he's going to be questioning him throughout this. So just listen for it.
Yeah, he got engaged.
What are you talking about?
He is an alleged serial abuser of women.
And his fiance
Nobody wants to
care.
see that. His fiance.
So I think this is one of those situations. I'm going to break this down a lot because it's a lot to it. So it's hard to watch a large amount of this because it'd be too much to break down. But me personally, I think this is where people just, you know, when they don't like a person, they don't believe in the justice system. When they do like a person, they believe in the justice system. And I'm not saying Deshaun is right or Deshaun is wrong, but what I'm saying is it's a fact that he was not criminally held liable or criminally charged for anything that happened between him and the women that accused him. He also settled with all of them that I've known, except for one, which is kind of a story that doesn't really get updated or reported on anymore. So me personally, since I was never going to be in that room with those two people, when whatever happened, I'm going to leave it at that. And I think that this is, you know, one of them situations where you either believe the justice system or you don't. Because when you kind of move the goalposts around where you believe it when it's somebody you like and you don't believe it when it's somebody you don't like, it muddies the water. And, you know, this is where, you know, you're going to see he keeps opening up the door for attacks.
Fiance's an idiot for being with him.
Wow.
Right there. His fiance is an idiot for being with him. So this is one of those situations where I say, now, if someone in his fiance's family or someone in Deshaun Watson's camp disrespects Bull back, would they be in the wrong? Me personally, I would say no, because I believe all of this is out of bounds. I believe all of this is taking it too far. His fiance has done nothing to Bull. His fiance has never taken a snap for the Cleveland Browns. His fiance did something what normally happens in the world that we live in today, and she's being criticized for it, and it makes no sense. And this is just too much. It's too far.
I mean,
nah, come on, Bull. Come on.
Where are you going too far?
Tyvis just said it. So McNuggets is like, Bull, come on, man. Tyvis, Bull, you going too far. And you see Bull's face. He does not believe he's going too far at all. He's like, this is inbounds because I don't like the guy. That's basically, I don't like to do that. I'm not going to speak for him. We're going to let him speak for himself in this point.
If you knew,
If you love someone, you love someone.
he's
too far.
allegedly sexually abused 26 women.
I'm not like giving him a pass for that,
The
but if
key
she's
word-
okay with it, she's
the key
okay.
She's
with
word-
it.
okay
Yeah,
with it.
I'm about to say.
What normal person would be okay with that?
People write love letters to Ted Bundy in jail.
Those people are idiots too.
Listen, you love the heart wants what it
Oh,
wants.
my
or
God.
wants. I think that's like a
Okay.
Taylor Swift
Well, I'm
song.
sure it'll end well. Good for him. I don't care. Nobody. I don't
People
give a
can't be
rat's ass about
happy.
it.
People can't be
And
happy.
why is he even? Why are the Browns letting? He's working out as if he's.
So that's why I say just too far. Now he's about to get back and talk about the Brown stuff, but all that stuff that he said prior to that was too far. And I think when you take these steps, this is what happened in the Stephen A. and LeBron. They get so caught up and they believe they have this protection and being in the media that no one, can critique what they say, especially when they go too far. And, when things turn into a mud slinging contest, what happens when they sling mud back at you? And you attacked his fiance, which for no reason at all. You attacked her multiple times. You attack him, and you are, showing your dislike for him, but none of that has anything to do with football. And I guarantee you, if you say, hey, he's playing bad, he's playing terrible, the Browns didn't get what, they thought they would be getting from him, he wouldn't doubt any of those things if you said that. But everything you said previous to, what we're the point we're at in this video now is just out of bounds. And it's off base and it's too far. And, when you have these things where it's kind of like the gray area where you just kind of take it into, it goes from critiquing him as a football player to critiquing him in his personal life to critiquing his fiance. It's too far. And when you keep moving the line on how far you can go on people, the line gets pushed back through things that are extreme. So for instance, LeBron never said, you don't hear him talking about the media much at all. You don't see him confronting the media at all. But when he felt like Stephen A. took it too far, he confronted Stephen A. face to face. And people just only think about when somebody confronts somebody face to face, they think about violence. But sometimes it's not violence. It's you need to know that I'm serious about what I'm saying to you and I'm not playing. I'm not joking. And I believe that's what Stephen A. got from LeBron. And this is those times where they open up and take it too far and they make themselves they just put themselves out there where they could be disrespected potentially in return based on what they're doing. And I don't think this is a good spot to put yourself in.
He's never going to play again. If he ever takes the field for the Browns again, then Andrew Berry must immediately and Kevin Stefanski must immediately go to the doctor and have their heads examined because that would be the dumbest thing ever. Nobody wants Deshaun Watson to play. He is shot. He is done. I apologize for being excited when the Browns traded for him. In fact, I think today's the anniversary, isn't it? Or yesterday?
It was March 18th, so yesterday.
Yesterday was the 3-year anniversary. I went bananas. I was beyond excited about Deshaun Watson. And I'm an idiot, and so is everybody else that got excited. We all got it wrong. The guy's an absolute bum. He couldn't. That's an insult to bums to call him a bum.
Ooh.
And he beyond. Come on, he's been here for 3 years. He has the.
It's that emotion. You see, they're trying to talk him off the ledge and tell him he's taking it too far. He's taking it way too far. This is a horrible take. This is bad. Just a horrible take. Let's finish it up so we can move on to the next thing.
Worst contract in the history of football. What are you talking about? He has destroyed the franchise. Destroyed. He is horrible at football. We were laughing at Jay's obsession with Will Howard. We know Will Howard's going to stink, but even he's better than Deshaun Watson.
Easy.
He's going to be nothing in the NFL, and you know this.
Oh my God.
Jay's insane, and even he's going to be better than Deshaun Watson.
Are you upset that the Cubs lost? Or
I
something?
am. No, I mean I am, but that has nothing to do with this.
Bull said he
You
got a
ain't
bad.
saying one positive thing all day.
What am I supposed to say
He got-
positive
he got a
about
bad night's
Deshaun
sleep.
Watson?
I have a positive.
Good.
He's wearing
Wait a second. Hold on a second. I was the one saying no big deal about the Cavs while you guys were complaining.
Well,
Yeah, this is just too far. This is emotion. Emotion from a man is when you get in trouble. When you don't have control of your emotions, this is when you get in trouble. So you want to maintain control of your emotions so you don't get yourself in these positions where you got to go, walk it back and you got to be apologizing. This is where you just maintain control. Just say, hey, look, talk about football. Talk about him as a football player. Talk about the contract he signed. All that's inbounds. But everywhere Bull took it just was way too far. And, I can't even say, I can't even say I hope that it doesn't turn into anything else, because I would understand if, someone from down Deshaun Watson's camp or someone from, his fiance's family responded to him. And I wouldn't be surprised if that happened. Now, I'm not advocating for them to physically attack him or anything like that. But if, just having one of those face-to-face man-to-man talks like LeBron and Stephen A, just to let you know, don't be playing with me. So I think we're going to wrap it up there with this in the third quarter. McNuggets is going to kind of say he kind of insinuates that Deshaun flew to Cleveland just to record that video, which I don't think that's what it is. I think it's one of those situations where, you have an athlete who's trying to work his way back, fight through, injuries. He's trying to keep himself motivated, and he's trying to show that he's, putting himself back together physically and mentally, so he could potentially get back on the field one day. I think that's all that is. I don't think it's necessary to, bash him. So that's it for the third quarter. And we're going to make our way to the fourth quarter. So let's get this updated here. I think that was a good third quarter. I think it's a lot of good lessons to learn that, you got to be I'm not even going to tell you what you got to be. I like to be respectful to people because I don't want to open up the door for people to, respond and, disrespect me if they choose to. So, just not the way I do things. All right, let's see.